Yo, what is going on? PartTimerZack here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the co-op event. I am finally in a spot where I can record and play it at the same time. So I have been doing a little bit on my own just to kind of get the gist of what co-op's going on. But I kind of wanted to make this video to explain exactly what you can kind of do to optimize it, because a lot of times I feel like people are just kind of jumping in here and they don't get the overall gimmick of it. So let's go ahead and jump into co-op, and we'll kind of showcase some different things when you first enter the screen. And so each one of these unlocks based on a level. As you can see, the next one is 55 and the next one after that is 60. From what I understand, there's no real difference except for the fact that you get a little bit better rewards and they're a little bit harder. And you can see from the side here, if you don't know what this means, basically the number of times that you clear it is the amount that you get here. So if you clear it 7 times, you get this, 14 and 21, you get these as well. If you don't know what these are, essentially you can go back into your main menu, go to the shop, go down to recycle shop, which is weird because there is an exchange shop, but it's in the recycle shop, and it gives you this currency right here to buy different rewards or different weapons, as you can see from here. So you can basically buy anything. Everything is the same price. It's 450. And so you can kind of see that you're going to have to do quite a bit of these to get the overall currency for it, but it does get your foot in the door to get some weapons. There's also a chance that you will get a weapon. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So basically, let's just start with this one. Battle preparations, and it goes into this screen here, and so you get a chance of dropping these. They are very small, a very small amount of chance here, because I got a 5-star for my Bianca. Don't know how I did it. It was just a random drop, as I'll tell you kind of at the end of it, because it makes it a little bit more obvious whenever you get to choose which one you go into. But basically it gives you some formation tips of kind of what we've been talking about: attacker, tank, and healer. That's kind of what you want. You only get to pick one unit, unfortunately, so the other two are kind of contingent on whoever you're bringing to the table and what they're going to be deciding to kind of pick. From my recent experience, everybody wants to go DPS, and maybe you get an S-Lib every once in a while that somehow out DPSs you anyway. But ultimately, I've never really had any problems. But again, I've been doing this one and this one, so honestly, I'm a little bit more geared than I probably need to be for a lot of these things. But let's go ahead and into this one and just talk about some different attributes. So these scavengers here, in case you didn't know what these are, essentially they give you a little bit of a boost if you actually click on them, and it'll tell you exactly what they do. So they increase reward in co-op. From what I understand, you do not need these to do co-op, but it definitely gives you more rewards and it gives you a little bit more bang for your buck. So it's always better to do them while you have them. And I believe that they reset at the beginning of each week, because mine was used a little bit and then I just got replenished to 21. So I'm guessing that these kind of replenish as you go. But let's go ahead and create a room just so I can talk about the different difficulties and the different levels and what they kind of mean. So let's go into a create a room. I'm going to switch this off real quick because people start joining quick fast. So if you have any problems getting into a room, I would definitely recommend just starting your own room and having that quick match on, because people just start joining. So anyway, just make sure that you have your best character on, because if you have somebody else and it's like a 500 battle power, they're just going to leave instantly. So just make sure you have your best character. But anyway, the top of here, you can see recommended BP. So this is 2,200. You know, obviously I have a little bit of this. I would take this with kind of a grain of salt. It's sort of the way that story is, where, you know, sometimes you can get away with like 3,400 sometimes in the story, and I'm over here with 2,400. So just take it as you will and kind of progress the way that you kind of want to. It does take stamina. So this is just the caveat. You got to understand that it does take a little bit of stamina here, and then it will take one of these scavenger things. I'm not necessarily sure if you fail it. I've never failed one, and so I don't necessarily want to give too much information on that one, because I don't know if you get defeated if it takes that stamina. I would guess it is. I think it's a little bit more of a hardcore mode. But basically, this is what you're going to be seeing: normal rewards on easy, and then as the person who's actually the team leader, and this is why I kind of recommend, if you want to go into different, you know, tiers, you be the team leader, because you're actually able to pick it. You can't really change anything if you're just joining somebody else. But basically you go into easy, elite, and nightmare, and as you can see, honestly, this is one's 2,600, so I could actually do this fairly well, and you get significantly better rewards. So that is basically the turntable of this, is that the higher the BP in the nightmare version, you are going to get a lot better chance of rewards and a lot better rewards in general. So then you can also go into here if you are the tech captain, essentially, and set the lowest BP a minute, so you can kind of accept anybody. So honestly, at this point, I'd probably accept 2,400. But I'm going to go ahead and just join somebody, because I just don't want to really worry about trying to get somebody in the lobby. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into quick match. As you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and click it, and then it's just going to throw me into a room. I just want to say that before I get thrown. But basically, here it is. So we got an S-Liv, and she is ready to go. They're going to switch it to Nightmare. Thank them for that. I'm going to go ahead and indicate that I'm ready. You can do it with just 2 people. It's up to the leader. You can also do it solo. So it's also up to you if you kind of want to do it. A lot of times when people go through it in solos, but we'll kind of see if we can get another person. It doesn't really look like it, but as you can see here, it's saying missing a tank. Even if somebody shows up as a DPS, we can still run it. It's just factoring in like, hey, you might want a tank. And so that's kind of what the message is there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to a point where we're actually okay, never mind. Okay, Lee joined in. Never mind. I don't have to cut. Okay, cool. So this is essentially the loading screen. Everybody loads in. Obviously, it's co-op. I know there's a lot of issues right now with people kind of lagging all over the place. I have not had those issues. I don't know if it's because I'm playing on BlueStacks on my PC and I'm Ethernet, so it's a little bit easier for my, stuff to keep up. And maybe you guys are playing on Wi-Fi. I've never really had too many issues. There are some hiccups where it's like I've dodged and it's not counting the dodge, but honestly, I've never gone against anybody that's been like super hard. But basically, yeah, you just do it like you normally would. You get in here and you fight and you attack, and then your S live just does way more damage than you can possibly imagine. My mouse is gone. There it is. I was gonna say, but you don't get any of your support. So the combos and stuff like that aren't as meaningful, I suppose, because oh my god, I just lagged a little bit. So the combos and stuff like that, whenever I would normally do this for like assist reasons, aren't as prevalent because obviously I don't have any assists. I can't run my other teams. And so it's just me against the world. So this is kind of the cool thing though. I prefer having a little bit of flexibility. So I do recommend having a couple different DPS units, maybe a tank or something like that in case, you are running a better version of this, because what I feel like is as you get up into the different progressions and stuff like that, you are going to need to have a more flexible team. You're not going to be able to just run in here with like DPSs and just wreck it. You know what I mean? You're essentially going to have everybody that's involved, like the tank, the healer, and the attack. And so I'm guessing that you're going to want to start to kind of level those up as you progress. But basically, this is it. You get to choose a reward. I don't think it's based on like what. Oh, it is. Okay, so I just. Okay, so I didn't get very good. So from what I understood is that's why I was waiting for a second, is I wanted to see what was going to happen. So basically, whoever chooses first gets it, and then the other two have to choose the other two rewards. So it is kind of a time thing based on whoever clicks first, but you want to make sure that you're clicking the best one because you can definitely get some different things. But again, I guess you can't really pick the best one because it's random. You can go again though. So if everybody stays in here, I'm the room leader now. So I guess we can kind of see if anybody joins and kind of go for another round just to kind of see it, just to get a little bit of better of an idea. Okay, so we did have her join. She is ready. Let's go ahead from the perspective of a room leader. That's all I really needed to do. If it wasn't on Nightmare at that point, I would switch it to Nightmare just for this level anyway, because all of our BP was more than enough. But we were already on Nightmare, so I didn't really have to do anything. And you basically just run it for however stamina you have, and then you really kind of just want to stack up those scavenger things because they will give you better rewards. So that's just kind of the way it is. From what I've noticed anyway, people are pretty nice about waiting for a second to see what you're going to pick, essentially. I've never really had somebody pick like just right out the gate. Like even right there, I was kind of just waiting on somebody to pick just to see if my theory was correct that you had a time limit for it. And it didn't really seem like anybody was like essentially trying to grab it. I do because I want the best stuff, obviously, but the whole premise of this is to stack up rewards to get those little you essentially want to do the amount of times that you can to get the currency to go into the recycle shop. So while it is a bonus to get some stuff from the actual rolls and stuff like that from the drops, the main focus is to just try to get that currency so then you can actually go into the recycle shop. So that is the big thing about being able to get weapons. As you can see, oh, okay, I got one that I didn't need, but basically that's kind of how it goes. Hey, I got the best one, so I will take it if I ever get Lee, and then you can like people, report them if they did something or add them as a friend. But that is basically the gist of it, and I went to 49. Great, we're almost to 50, so we can finally progress in the story. But basically that is the gist of it, and if I ever got any rewards, I can go back. I'm just going to leave this one for the sake of it. And then you can see that I think this bar is starting to go up. Yeah, so you can see that as I'm progressing the number of clearances that I'm doing, I'm getting a little bit of progression here. And I think it does carry over. Yeah, so it does carry over based on the different ones that you do. So that's basically the rundown of it. I hope you guys kind of got the gist of it and I explained it pretty well. But anyway, guys, I will see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.